Welcome back to Card Players coverage of the 5 Diamond World Poker Classic. Now we're halfway through the preliminary events leading up to the $15,000 World Poker Tour main event that begins on December 12th. Looking around here, I'm seeing a common theme, and that is every big name in the poker industry is here. And in line with that theme is today's final table. It was a $2,100 buy-in. We've got Dan Alsbach, Michael Mizrachi, Jared Hamby, Roy Winston. Play's about to start, so let's catch up with some of them.
Well, I'm very excited about it. I feel like I'm riding the crest of the wave right now. I feel like my play is good, and I think I talked to you a little bit about this back in Foxwoods. I think, maybe I got a little aggressive after the big win in Borgata, and now I've kind of toned it down a little bit, and I'm back to fundamental poker, and Barry Greenstein spent a little time with me, I think helped me dramatically, and I'm riding the crest of the wave. Things have been going well, and hopefully I can bring this one home.
What's the best advice that Barry gave to you?
He said, try to pick better situations and try to not force the situation, which I think is important. And I'm going to try that today. And I'm starting with a chip lead, so I feel pretty confident today.
How did you build that chip stack yesterday? Was it slow and gradual, or was there one big hand?
Well, I had a couple of key hands. I had a really good one right at the end, one of the last hands of the night. Thaler raised an early position about 3 times the big blind, and then Men the Master acted right after him, pushed all in for about 60 or 58,000. Came around to me in the big blind, and I looked down at 2 aces, and I got to tell you, I played him great. I turned him over once I said all in, and that's easy and great. And I usually don't get those lucky situations.
Right,
but
a no-brainer.
No-brainer, and then there were 3 kings out there, so he really was drawing dead. There was even a queen wouldn't have saved him at that point. So.
Oh, he had pocket queens?
No, he had pocket queens, and there were 3 kings on the board, so
okay.
He was drawing dead. It was really, it was fantastic. Thank God he didn't have a king, or I would have been dead.
Yeah. Well, you have a pretty tough final table. There's Michael the Grinder Mizrachi, Jared Hamby. Do you feel like you have a pretty good read on these players?
Well, you know what? They're going to be tough. Jared is always tough, and Michael, he knocked me out of the main event at the Fiesta Lago last year. We were big blind, small blind, and he got kings, and I'm used to him playing 6-4
right.
offsuit, not kings. So
right.
it was a tough final table. Not a final table, but a tough table. And I think they're going to be tough. And I have a chip lead on them, which will give me a little help. But I'm going to have to be very careful with them, and I give them a lot of respect. And hopefully I can do it.
Jared, how are you doing in chips going into 12-handed?
Well, the blinds are starting at 3K, 6K, and I have 132. So it's kind of short, but everybody's pretty short. I'm in 4th. But that could change, at any hand. It's a pretty shallow tournament, so I'm in a good position, but anything can happen from here. There's still 12 people left, so who knows.
How late did they play last night?
Excuse me?
How late did you guys play last night?
We played till 3 o'clock, so, plenty of time to get some sleep and everything. Everybody should be well rested, so no excuses there.
Why didn't they play down to a final table?
I think the rule is just we play till 3, and the last level stopped at about 20 till or quarter till, so with the break that was due, we just decided to stop for the night.
So you guys are going to be 6-handed. Are you confident about your short-handed play?
Yeah, definitely. I've got some good players at my table. I've got the Grinder on my left, and Marcus, who is lerped online. A lot of people probably don't know who he is, but he's a very good player, and Dan Alspach, who has a lot of chips. So I'm very confident about my short-handed game, but there's a lot of good players, so anything can happen. I'm just gonna do what I do, treat it like any other tournament.
I got 119 right now. It's about average. And blinds are so high, it's 3-6,000, so it's anybody's game. Don't matter. If you're real below average, above average, anybody can win it. You know how it is.
Yeah. Yesterday, you guys went through hundreds of players. What was that like?
It's another poker event,
Yeah. Do you play extra aggressive when the blinds go up so fast?
Sometimes. It depends on my table. If I have a passive table, I'll play really aggressive and take advantage of the situation. And if I have an aggressive table, I might just sit back and relax and enjoy the show and just hopefully, just wait till I get something, big, decent and shove it in.
How's your table right now?
I don't even know who's on my table.
Jared Hamby's at your table.
Yeah, he's been on my table for quite a bit yesterday, and plays, super aggressive, but, he waits, he's pretty patient, he waits for hands. But that's probably, I don't know, it's a pretty tough table, actually. I don't know. You have Dan Asbach at the table as well, and
you guys are almost to a final table.
And Cherry, almost, yeah, but almost doesn't count.
Right.
There's only one, I don't even look if I make the final table or not, I don't care. I'd rather, either first or nothing.
Right. Well, the other day, I made the final table with you at the Grinder tournament, at Planet Hollywood along with your twin brothers. So do you think that we gave you a little preparation for this really tough event?
Well, actually, the Planet Hollywood prepares me all the time. I'm for these little short buy-ins and the small stacks of 4,000 chips you start with. And you start the same thing at Planet Hollywood. And I get I get a lot more experience every day. I try new things over there, and then it just helps me out. I made the final table again, like the
next day?
The next day I played it. I had all the chips, and I finished 7th. I gave my chips away.
Today's event was a $2,500 buy-in. It attracted 319 players, and first place is set to take home almost $280,000. A player looking to get another first place finish and that $280,000, who's on fire right now, is Dutch Boyd.
So far I've played 5 tournaments. I've cashed in 3, and one of those was a win, which is always pretty nice.
Which one was that?
It was the last 2,500.
Okay. And this one's a 2,100. How are you doing so far?
This one's actually 2,500.
Oh, it is 2,500. How are you doing so far in this event?
Well, this is my chip stack.
Small right now.
It's pretty small, but
Dutch, don't forget about the chainsaw.
What about the chainsaw?
I can't really go into it.
Oh, okay. But that chip stack's going to grow, right?
The chip stack is definitely going to grow. I'm going to be just stealing Alan Kessler's blind, and he's the tightest player on the tournament trail, so it's going to be pretty easy.
I didn't mix it up today, though, right? I have to mix it up, correct? Tell them I'm mixing it up.
You played a little loose today?
He's been playing a lot looser than I thought. I mean, he was limping in with like ace-6 of clubs. And
You've got a pretty tough table, too. You got David Pham, #1 on the Card Player of the Year
I'm
race.
really afraid of his Chow over there.
Chow?
Yeah.
Why is that?
He's just so intimidating, man. I feel like he knows exactly what I have every time I look at my cards. So I try not to look at him, you know. I figure if I don't look at my cards, they can't read me.
Also competing in this event is Jeff Madsen.
I've played 4 tournaments, and this is my first break, so it's going good.
So
I got
the past
lucky.
2 tournaments, you busted out before the first break?
Yeah, a couple of times I got unlucky, but I'm working on consistency. But I'm playing better today, so I feel good.
Is there any tough players at your table?
Yeah, it's a tough table. Actually, it's like a bunch of guys I played with before that I don't know their names, but I know they're tough. So I'm still feeling it out. But there's like Eric Fuller to my left. He was youngest bracelet winner, and there's a couple other guys. Yeah.
The guy that beat you?
The guy that I beat for the bracelet.
Oh, okay.
So he's probably got a grudge against me. We'll see if he guns for me or not.
How many chips do you have right now?
I got like 4,000.
What do you start with?
With 5, so I'm treading water, but I feel better today, and I actually got a decent night's sleep last night, so.
No partying last night?
A little bit.
But after you win this, you can have a big party, right?
Exactly. You're invited. We're all invited. Yeah?
Sweet. All right, we'll be there.
All right, for sure.
Whether it's because this is the last World Poker Tour stop of this year, the prospect of gaining more Player of the Year points, or because the Bellagio is known for its world-class tournaments, the bottom line is that the action is here. Now stay tuned in to Card Player for continued coverage of the 5 Diamond World Poker Classic. I'm Christy Arnett for Card Player TV.